It was a quiet Saturday morning on Maple Lane, the kind where the sun filters through old oak trees and the air smells of fresh-cut grass. My daughter, Emily, was out front, her tiny hands clutching pastel chalks, drawing hearts and stars on our driveway. At 5, she was all giggles and golden curls, her pink dress dusted with color. I was inside, pouring coffee, savoring the calm. Then a shrill voice shattered it, like a knife through glass. "What do you think you're doing?" My mug hit the floor. I ran to the window and saw her, Helen Marshall, HOA president, looming over Emily, her face twisted with contempt. That moment changed everything. Emily looked up, confused, clutching her chalk. "Daddy said I could draw," she whispered. I shouted through the screen, "She's 5, Helen. It's chalk. It washes off." But Helen didn't flinch. "Rules are rules, Mr. Harper. Your kid's turning this street into a mess." Before I could reach the door, she grabbed Emily's arm, yanking her hard. Emily stumbled, her head slamming into the stone edging of our flower bed. A sickening crack echoed. She crumpled, silent, her little body still. Blood pooled beneath her curls. I sprinted across the lawn, my heart pounding. "Our babysitter," Lisa screamed. Helen stepped back, brushing her sleeve, muttering about discipline and HOA standards. I dropped beside Emily, my hand shaking, searching for a pulse. Her chest was still. "Emily, baby, please," I choked. Helen, cold as ice, said, "I'll be filing a report. This is the behavior I'm here to stop." Something in me snapped. I stood, fist clenched, and faced her. She didn't see the storm coming, but she would. "I'm James Harper, district attorney. I've put away monsters, traffickers, abusers, cartel enforcers. But nothing prepared me for this." Helen thought her HOA title made her untouchable. She didn't know who she was dealing with. I crossed the yard in a blur, grabbing her by the wrist and the back of her head. With one motion, I slammed her face into the stone planter. Blood sprayed across the petunias. She tried to scream, but I ripped her scarf off and stuffed it in her mouth. "You've screamed enough," I growled. Her arms flailed as I pinned her down, my knee on her back. A barbecue skewer glinted in the flower pot from last weekend's grill. I didn't think. I drove it through her palm into the dirt. She convulsed, muffled cries leaking through the scarf. "Stay," I spat, "like the trash you are." I lifted Emily, her body limp in my arms, and carried her to the car. Helen writhed on the ground, bloodied, her hand pinned. I dialed a number, "Not the police, not yet. This is Harper. Response team, no sirens. 1 detained, moderate injuries." It's her. Before I was a DA, I worked dark cases, the kind that don't make headlines. I had friends who moved fast when the system dragged. Helen would learn what happens when you touch a man's child. The ER was chaos, white lights, antiseptic stench, nurses moving too slowly. I handed Emily off, her blood on my shirt. "She's 5, I said. "She's not breathing right." They rushed her away. I paced, fist clenched, until Dr. Larson emerged, his face grim. "Severe head trauma. Brain swelling. She's in a coma." The words hit like a sledgehammer. I nodded, swallowing a scream, and drove to the police station at midnight. Helen had already filed a report, claiming Emily tripped, blaming Lisa for neglect. The officers bought it. "Mr. Harper, we get your frustration," Officer Daniels said, too calmly. "But there's no evidence of intent. Ms. Marshall's respected HOA president, city council ties." I slammed the desk. "She threw my daughter into stone. You call that clean?" Daniels raised an eyebrow. "She says you assaulted her. She's got injuries." I leaned in. "Good. Next time, I won't stop at her hand." He shifted. "That a threat?" "It's a promise," I said. "If you won't protect my kid, I will." I didn't sleep. I sat by Emily's hospital bed, her face pale, machines beeping. Helen was home, sipping wine, thinking she'd won. So I dug. As a DA, I had access databases, archives, and contacts. Helen had lived in 3 neighborhoods over 12 years, always clawing onto HOA boards. Complaints followed. Harassment over lawn ornaments, fines for kids' toys, threats to pets. Most were dismissed. She knew how to bury dirt. But I found patterns. A man, George Carter, 70, lost his dog to poison after Helen complained about barking. No proof. A widow, Ellen Hayes, had her prize roses killed with herbicide. She saw Helen near her yard. No evidence. Helen didn't just enforce rules, she built a fiefdom of fear. Then I found the money. HOA records showed $42,000 funneled to Green Valley Consulting, no employees, no address, a shell company tied to Helen's maiden name. Embezzlement. I had leverage now, but I needed more. I installed cameras hidden in birdhouses, under eaves. If Helen came near us, I'd have her. Then I went door to door, asking neighbors what they saw. Most avoided me, scared of Helen's shadow. But at the Carter house, Susan answered nervously. Her daughter, Mia, 9, had seen something. She hasn't slept since, Susan whispered. I knelt by Mia, gently. You're not in trouble. If you saw something, you could help Emily. Mia clutched her shirt, eyes wet. The mean lady yelled at Emily. Emily was blowing bubbles. Then she grabbed her, shook her, and pushed her hard. My jaw tightened. Did she help Emily after? Mia shook her head. She looked around and ran. I thanked her, my voice steady, but inside, a fire roared. I had a witness. 3 months later, Emily woke, but she wasn't the same. She flinched at loud voices, asked why her head hurt, and why she couldn't remember her favorite songs. Will she play outside again? The doctor asked. Not until it's safe, I said. Safety meant justice. I handed my evidence cameras, financials, Mia's testimony, medical reports to Detective Laura Bennett, a child crime specialist. She scanned the files and nodded. We've got her. Officers arrested Helen at her pristine home. She opened the door, smug in silk, and snapped. This is harassment. I care about standards. Bennett was ice. You're under arrest for aggravated assault on a child and embezzlement. Helen's mask cracked. That brat fell. That man attacked me. Save it, Bennett said. You have the right to remain silent. The courtroom buzzed. Neighbors, once silent, now watched Helen squirm. I took the stand, laying out her crimes, the attack, the fraud, the fear she'd sown. Her lawyer called her a dedicated volunteer, claiming she acted for community order. I faced the jury. If that's order, chaos is kinder. Mia testified, trembling, describing Helen's violence. Helen rolled her eyes at a child. The jury saw it. Dr. Larson confirmed Emily's injuries weren't from a fall but a deliberate act. A neighbor, Mrs. Ellis, heard Emily's cry and saw Helen flee. The financials sealed it. $42,000 stolen, traced to Helen's accounts. The jury took 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge glared at Helen, now pale. Your cruelty and abuse of power are staggering. 15 years. Helen screamed. This is a setup. That man ruined me. I stood, calm. You ruined yourself when you touched my daughter. Bailiffs dragged her out, cursing. The crowd clapped. 6 months later, Detective Bennett called, her voice sharp. Helen's been talking to her sister, Diane Marshall, in prison. Diane's got a record assault, vandalism. She's making threats. I upgraded security. New cameras, stronger locks, private patrols. 3 days later, Mrs. Ellis, our neighbor, rushed over. A woman is circling your house, taking pictures. I looked out. Diane, younger but with Helen's cold eyes, smirked at me. I stepped outside. Can I help you? You're James Harper, she said, venom in her voice. You destroyed my sister over an accident. She kept the street clean. I laughed, cold. She was a criminal. If you're here to finish her work, you're already breaking a restraining order. She tilted her head. I'm on a public sidewalk. What'll you do? I stepped closer. Mention my daughter again, and you won't walk away. She backed off, smiling. This isn't over, I called Bennett. She's escalating. The next morning, my car was vandalized, deep scratches, liar carved into the hood. I added cameras to the street, catching Diane days later dumping trash on my porch at 3 a.m., laughing. I didn't confront her. I waited. Then she slipped. Leaning against my mailbox, she taunted, Your brat ruined my sister. You'll get what's coming. I recorded it. Say that again. She did, louder. I sent the audio to Bennett. You've got her, I said. That's a threat against a child. Police arrested Diane at her motel. She fought, screaming conspiracies. Charged with stalking, threats, and vandalism, she got 3 years, no bail. In court, she mimicked Helen's arrogance, but the jury was done with the marshals. Guilty in 2 hours. As she was led away, Diane mouthed, This isn't over. I walked out, toward Emily, toward light. It was over. Maple Lane healed. Kids biked again. Mrs. Ellis planted roses. The Carters hung wind chimes. The HOA was rebuilt, fair, and human. They named the park Emily's Garden, a tribute to her survival in our fight. Emily, still healing, drew a shield in chalk one morning. To keep the bad ones out, she said. I swallowed hard. It's beautiful. Years later, Emily became a lawyer, defending kids like her. Helen died in prison, a heart attack, unclaimed. Diane never returned. We didn't just survive, we rewrote our story. Maple Lane became a place of laughter, not fear. This isn't just about revenge. It's about standing up when monsters hide behind rules. Helen and Diane thought they could control us with fear. They forgot what happens when a father, a neighbor, a community says enough. Justice isn't always a badge. Sometimes it's a shield, forged in love, unbreakable. What would you have done in my shoes? Was my rage pinning Helen's hand, hunting Diane too far, or not far enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your stand on violence, injustice, and protecting the innocent. Let's talk. Your voice matters.